Playoffs? Well,
Playoff.
welcome to the Davd McNiner channel. I got my guy over here, Bryant Culp.
That's right.
All the playoff spots have been clinched. The only thing that can happen in tonight's game is the Bills lose, and then the Steelers get the sixth spot, and they're in the seventh. So everything's done sewn up. You know, this week was a kind of crazy week. You had the first game on Saturday was the Steelers at the Ravens. The Steelers, it's a must win, or they do not have a shot at making the playoffs. And they needed the Jaguars to lose and maybe a couple other things if the Jaguars won, but the Jaguars ended up losing to the Titans today, folks. But the Steelers beat the Ravens. Because of some games that happened, they're in they're a clinched playoff spot in the seventh seed, possibly the sixth, depending on the outcome of the upcoming game that starts in about 12 minutes. The Texans went to Indianapolis to play against Minshew, the man with the mullet, Minshew Mania, and they ended up winning the game in kind of thrilling fashion, because that's just the way the Texans seem to be. And if you didn't check out our show from earlier, please do. And look at the thumbnail. That was D'Amico Ryan's reaction to the Colts not converting on that fourth down. Sunday, we had the Browns at the Bengals. Not many of us folks picking games picked the Bengals because, the Browns have been the better team this year. And wow, I think only one of us in the pick show actually picked the Bengals. Yes, one of us did. But the Bengals ended up winning that one. It wasn't even close. More or less, the Browns were resting their veterans and starters and preparing for round one of the playoffs. The next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Detroit, Motor City, and Detroit bounced back. Brian, what do you think about Detroit bouncing back? I mean, did you expect this to happen?
There's something about that Honolulu blue helmet, huh?
I actually like the helmets that they had on. It looked pretty good.
Yeah, they coined it Honolulu Blue. That's pretty cool.
Honolulu Blue.
And I like the logo on the side kind of cleans it up a little bit. It makes it feel more like Motor City if you get those vibes from it. But Minnesota, it looked like Detroit took off pretty quick, and then Minnesota, started coming back, and then things happened. Nick Mullins, he got hit one time, and it looked like it messed with his arm. But he's not gonna. They're not gonna say it did, but it just looked like it got to him. And then from there, just looks like Detroit has a lot of energy, and they got good energy going into the playoffs. They're going to be a very now. Who do they get to play, David? Who do they get to play?
They get to play the 7th seed. Hold on. Dallas won. So that puts them in the second. Detroit's in third. Detroit has to play the Rams, don't they?
Yes. And they
shout out to Little Sponge. Sorry your team lost, buddy. I'm not gonna make fun of you or nothing. It's your team's not playing good football right now, buddy. I don't know what else to say. We got Damian Lee. Thinks Gardner Minshew. Now, does he kind of look like Joe Dirt, or is it just me?
Yeah, it's the mullet. It's the mullet.
Jason Captain Niner Massey, the guy with the best 49er hat ever, right there.
Yeah, he's got a great hat. Great guy too.
And Damian Lee makes a point right here. They got the Green Bay Packers coming to town. So that actually ought to be a pretty good game. I think those teams match up very well. Anyway, right now we're at the Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. And the sunshine was played, but the sun wasn't shining. The Tennessee Titans won.
Yep.
Yep.
There was a couple of times though. There was a couple of times he made some plays out there, and the wide receivers just weren't able to, connect. But then I seen that the defense was aggressive. They got a interception. They were playing really well. The Jaguars came to play, but there's something about Tennessee. They definitely volunteered to play today. They came and they won. It was a big run game for them, I believe. It wasn't really all King Henry, but King Henry, I think, had like a 76-yard run or something like that. Really, really big. And now they're saying this might be his last game, so it's interesting to think where he might go next season.
Well, that's actually very interesting. We'll see what happens there. And I mean the Jags, so that they were 8-4 before they played us.
Mm-hmm.
They've won one game since. We broke them.
Yeah.
we also broke the Eagles too, And then the next game, a lot of talk about this being Bill Belichick's final outing. And, what better way to send Bill Belichick out with a victory? Yeah, the Jets won the game, folks. So if it's Bill Belichick's last game, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. We got the Falcons and the Saints, Bryant.
Yeah.
This had playoff implications when they played. Really doesn't now, but it did. And the Saints came marching in. They beat the Falcons in spectacular fashion. I don't think the game was even close.
Carr was listening to me this morning, huh?
He must have been. Yeah, I'm telling you, people watch our shows and we don't know it,
I'm telling you.
I know Kyle Shanahan's probably tuned in and we don't even know because he's just not in the chat,
Lurkers, we love you there.
But the next game, another pesky divisional matchup. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. Buccaneers were playing for their division, for their not wild card, but their playoff hopes. They ended up winning and taking their division. Another game with playoff implications. Bears at the Green Bay Packers. I honestly thought the Bears put up a good fight. What do you think, Bryant?
I didn't get to watch much of that game as much as I wanted to. The Bears, the score doesn't tell a true story. It doesn't give you a true idea of what really happened. But the Packers, they put up 17 points or something like that, and the Bears put 3 points up, or I'm not sure the final score on that one. But
I think they scored 9. They ended up scoring 9.
I'm really excited about the Green Bay Packers. I think they're another team that has a lot of momentum going in, good energy. Right now, Detroit, Green Bay, and the Rams have well, we can't really say the Rams so much, but at least I would prior before they benched Stafford. But these other two teams, they didn't bench their quarterbacks. Golf didn't get benched. He played. And they weren't worried about him getting hurt. They weren't worried, they were going to win the game. So I think Green Bay and Detroit have a lot of energy. They're gonna be tough going into the playoffs.
That any team that made it, anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
Although we're hoping for the best outcome for our 49ers, of course.
Of course.
A game without playoff implications. The Broncos at the Raiders. Russell Wilson was riding the pine. And the Raiders ended up pulling out the victory against their division rival. Isn't there some sort of streak going on there?
If I'm correct, they were 16-0 this year. Then they went 17. They might be 18-0 against the Broncos right now.
That would be like 6 seasons worth of beating.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I'm correct. The Raiders, man, I tell you what, they come to play. They might not play anybody else that well, but they definitely play the Broncos. They don't like each other very much.
That's true. Now we got the Philadelphia Eagles, who at one point were 10-1, at the New York Giants. I think when it comes to the picks, we were kind of mixed there. We went both ways. Yes. We went both ways, a lot of us. Personally, I picked the Giants. I thought that they're playing good football. They were a field goal away from making this game matter for the Rams. Seattle was a field goal away from also making this game matter for the Rams. This is weeks ago, though, folks. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah.
But at this point, the Giants beat the Eagles, and they made them look bad. It's kind of, unbelievable what's going on with the Eagles. They were 10-1 rolling. Then they played this team, that was like a red and gold brick wall, and they just flew right into it and haven't been the same since. Another game with playoff implications. Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. Sea chickens versus red chickens, folks. The Seahawks ended up winning this one by 1 point.
Okay, I got to correct myself. The streak for the Raiders right now is 8. They have won 8 games in a row. I believe that other streak goes to, I want to say, Kansas City and the Broncos, but I'm not positive on that as well. But 8 wins against the Broncos. The Raiders are 8 times, so that's almost like us. That was almost 10 and 10. 10. So go Raiders.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but and the Seahawks ended up missing the playoffs because the Packers won, folks.
Yep.
The next game had 0 implications on the playoffs. The Kansas City Swifties and a lot of them were in street clothes on the sideline. All the practice squad guys didn't get the day off. They got to play in the game.
Yeah.
And they played at the Chargers. Ended up barely winning that game.
Yeah, by a point. It was like 13 to 12.
By a point. Yep. And we're skipping that one to last. Now we got the Dallas Cowboys with the chance to cement the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Yes, the playoffs. The playoffs. And they were at their division rival, the Washington Commanders. And they handled that game. They handled it.
It could be Ron Rivera's final game.
Yes. It could be Ron Rivera's last game. Well, more than likely, though, because Washington's under new management. Got that sign hanging up,
Yep. Help wanted.
Yeah. So the night game that happens, the playoff implications there, it's for the NFC East, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, well, not the NFC, the AFC East. My bad. AFC East. And it's between the Dolphins and the Bills. The Dolphins have lost some key player, Nick Chubb. They lost another good outside edge earlier in the season. They're without Raheem Mostert right now, and I believe Waddle too. So the Dolphins are undermanned going in. Bills probably are the hotter team. And whoever wins tonight takes the AFC East. I don't know if they clinched the number 2 or 3 seed over there. Hold on. I think I got that pulled up right here. Let me unlock this. And whoever wins that game clinches the number 2 seed. That's how it's going to work. So if the Miami Dolphins win, they'll be the number 2 seed. Kicks the Buffalo Bills down to number 7, the number 7 seed, and kicks the Pittsburgh Steelers up to number 6. If the Bills win, the Miami Dolphins get the number 6 seed, and the Steelers stay at number 7. Now we got the LA Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. It was the battle of the backups.
Wait,
Neither team really needed. What?
I'm sorry, David. So if the Bills lose, they still get into the playoffs now?
They have a clinched playoff spot because Jacksonville lost.
Oh, okay. Because Texans won the division.
That's right. So the Texans will be hosting the Browns. That ought to be a game to watch, though.
Yeah. I wasn't happy with the Browns. The Browns sat their players. The starter sat. I don't remember what the end of the score was. I was at one point. It was
Bengals destroyed them, though. They destroyed them.
Yeah, it's really sad. Really, really sad.
But here we go. We got the Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. Nothing really to lose for either team or to gain for either team by playing their starters. So, some of our starters played in the game in the first quarter, then they got pulled, and it was all the second and third stringers. And the Rams, I don't know if they pulled their young players that were starting, or if they just, pulled the select veterans out and just kept them out. I didn't actually get a chance to see the game. I'm going to watch the replay when it comes out. But at this point, this game didn't matter. We unfortunately ended up losing by 1 point. And it was just one of those games.
Jake Moody missed the field goal wide right. It wasn't wide right. It actually hit the pole. But he was on the right side of the hash mark, and he hit it. And I don't know if he chipped it with the corner of his foot, but he made it, go towards the post, and he hit it was a doink. It was like, I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, are you a dink and dunk kicker? It's getting really bad. And then, I'm thinking, okay, well, he's still pretty good on his extra points, right? And then later in the game, he misses an extra point. So that was 4 points off the board that could have been there. Just really it was a team loss. They stopped running the ball. And when Sam Darnold did have less and less talent in the game, it seemed to, I don't know. I wouldn't say he played worse, but he was still able to get the ball to people like Ronnie Bell. Conway got involved. There was a couple of times that Conway got the ball in his hands and wasn't able to hold on to it. When you catch it, it's supposed to be glue in your hands. You're not supposed to let somebody punch the ball out. And then there was just times where, Sam did throw the ball really, really nice in times in areas. But again, you got to have the other players, make it, and they gotta do their part, right? And then, again, it's not even Moody. When we need you, man, you gotta be there. But I'd rather you get it out now and lose now and miss now, and then hopefully go into the playoffs and get back on track. But we lost by a point.
He was 55 for 55. Actually, wasn't it?
He only missed.
He was 57 of 57 because we had 2 more. But before that, missed 1. So he's like 57 of 58 on extra points.
Yeah, this is first extra point he's ever missed, since being a pro. Yep. And he's missed now 4 kicks, 4 field goals, and sadly 2 of them cost us the game. Well, you can't really say this one cost us the game because it wasn't a game-winning kick that, but the Browns was a game-winning kick that we definitely could say we lost. The field goals in the Vikings game, that would have helped us win those games too, but it wasn't the deal breaker. This one at the end of the game, Sam had the ball and he went to like move in the pocket and somebody come up and hit the ball with it looked like their helmet and it popped it out. And he tried to push the ball forward and make it look like a pass, but you could clearly tell it was a fumble and he wasn't able to get on it. Not what we had the ball 45 seconds left and we were driving and Sam was throwing darts. I don't know, it just got close, but no cigar. And everybody, again, it's like we weren't playing the starters the entire game. When they were playing in the beginning of the game, the starters were making a difference. But then we got away from the run game somewhere. It was 21-13. And I'm like, we're not running the ball anymore. I have my brothers were over and we're watching the game and, we're talking and stuff. And I look back and I'm like, we're not running the ball anymore. Why did we stop running the ball? So when I watch the highlights again, I'm going to be looking for that as well, David.
It's kind of weird. It seems like Kyle panics and just figures he'll just start flinging the ball around and just run the ball. You got Jordan Mason was actually averaged 6 yards on the game, but he didn't get many carries. Elijah Mitchell was averaging 3.7. But either way, that's what our offensive line, when they draft offensive linemen, they don't draft them for pass blocking. They draft them for run blocking.
Yep.
And teach them how to pass block. So let's run the ball. That's 49er football. Run the ball, eat the clock, keep the defense fresh so they can get the stops.
Yep.
But either way, the game didn't matter. I didn't get mad about anything, to be honest with you. That figures he's going live. But, at this point in time, we got the bye week coming up. Our injured players are gonna have a week off. Everyone's got a little bit of time to get better and to be ready for that first playoff game. Who's it gonna be? We don't know.
Kind of like to see us play the Packers. I'm really interested in that. If we was to play the Packers, that means the Cowboys are out. Then potentially, if Detroit takes care of the Rams, that would be neat. Then you have potentially Tampa Bay beating the Eagles who've lost 5 out of the last 6 of their games going into the playoffs. I would be pretty happy with that. That would mean we'd have to play the Packers, and then if we was to win there, it would be the deciding factor. Just in my scenario, it'd be deciding either we play Detroit or Tampa Bay. And at this point, Detroit might be the ones in the NFC Championship game.
Well, at this point, the Dallas Cowboys, they played a really good game, but they struggle against teams with winning records. And that's all you're going to face in the playoffs, right?
That's it.
So we'll see what happens there. But at this point, what's this next week matchup you're looking forward to? You looking forward to the Rams and the Lions? I kind of am.
I'd be interested to see that game. Yeah, that one for sure. I'm not big on watching Dallas games, but the Packers will be playing them, so I definitely want to hear about the score on that one. I'll watch all the playoff games, but yeah, I think the most exciting one will be Detroit. See if Detroit versus everybody. Don Burke can get that magic going for him, and see what happens. Do you know anything that happened to Jalen Hurt, the Eagles quarterback? Did he break his middle finger, dislocate it?
The news is that he dislocated it.
Okay,
but let me look it up to see if there's any updates, because there really could be right now.
He smacked his hand on a helmet and it looked like it hurt.
That's the same thing that happened to this one young QB that we traded away this offseason.
Yeah.
During his rookie training camp, he smacked his finger on a helmet, and it took quite some time. Gruesome finger injury. Nasty finger injury. Oh. It's just calling it a finger injury right now. Let me see if I can find a picture. Oh.
Yeah, he had his hand up in the game and the finger
Oh.
bent, but then he still played the rest of the game. He did throw the ball. It looked like it affected him throwing the ball, but I can't be for sure.
Make sure I got my volume down here. Oh, dude. Okay.
Yep.
Matt, it wasn't. It was the other player's hand. His hand got caught in.
Oh, wow.
He did end up smacking his helmet, but oh my goodness! So his joint right here, you know how it goes this way. It was bent the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hold your finger out, his finger was bent up and out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a dislocated joint of the middle finger there. Ooh, that looks like it hurts. You weren't lying, Brian. That looks like it hurt.
It looked like it hurt.
But yeah, now we got the night game, which is probably already started. We kind of went overboard a little bit here, folks, but that's what happens. We get talking, and but yeah, the night game, and whoever wins this game wins the NFC, or I keep saying that, the AFC East, and takes the number 2 seed.
Yeah. Good luck, Bills Mafia, and let's hope the Dolphins can swim. So
honestly, Brian, I think the Bills are dangerous. They didn't have the season everyone thought they were going to have.
Yeah.
They got warm towards the end. I look at them like out of all the teams in the AFC, they are the most dangerous team going in. The Ravens they're going to play well at home. We all know that. But when it comes to a team that can walk in and beat anybody, I'm looking at the Bills.
Oh, see, I got a feeling it's the Browns in that situation. I think the Browns match up against anyone in the AFC better than just about anybody. I think the Browns can go blow to blow with the Baltimore Ravens, and I don't see anybody really stopping the Browns. The Chiefs aren't what the Chiefs used to be. The Bills, maybe if they get on the same page, we'll see. I'd like to see a Bills 49ers Super Bowl. That'd be kind of cool.
Ooh, yeah, Robert Beal Jr. got a sack. There's a lot of people barking that he looks really good in practice, but because of our depth and all the guys ahead of him, he's might be next year before we see him on the field. But that could end up being one of those late round fantastic pickups.
Hey, before we get out of here, you want to shout out the chat?
Well, we got Wolf, our guy. He's in the building. It's the Bills Mafia at the Dolphins. What, swimming? I mean, yeah. I don't think the Dolphins have anything cool. They don't have anything cool. Oh, wow. Boss Quest, thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. Yeah. I'm thinking that could be it. The AFC playoffs isn't going to be an absolute mess. I mean, the NFC, I think we've beat Cowboys, the Eagles, we beat the Rams, and we lost to the Rams. Yeah, let's be honest there, right?
Yep.
We didn't play Detroit. We beat Tampa.
Yep.
So that's 4 teams. That's 4 that we've beat. Right? And then
we haven't played the Packers.
We got the Packers who we didn't play, the Lions we didn't play.
Yep. That's the 6th. And we're 7.
Yeah, so the NFC, it all goes through Levi's, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it might be. It might be. You never know. It's the playoffs. It's a whole new season. It's the playoffs. Was that Dick Vermeil? Or wasn't that him?
So we're looking at potentially, if the Packers win, we play the Packers. If the Packers lose, the Cowboys, being the number 2 seed, won't play the Niners unless they get to the championship game. Then the Detroit and the Rams, depending on if the Rams win, then we would play the Rams because they'd be the lower seed. If the Rams lose, then Detroit would have to play the Dallas Cowboys, and we'd potentially play the Eagles or Tampa Bay. So I like our chances, David. I really do.
Well, we got Damian Lee in the chat. He says Jerry Jones is working on that. Jerry will have the NFL put a losing team in just for his Cowboys. We got Tony Culp, Bryant's wife. Oh,
yeah.
I won't get involved. I don't get involved in,
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. There's not, you can only defend somebody for so long. They have to step up and make the kick themselves. I mean, if the Niners want me to start kicking for them, I'm ready. I'll start stretching now. I mean, I'm ready. Put me in, coach. But
we got Jason Captain Niner Massey. He's got that Captain 49ers hat. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, Minshew Mania. He should be going somewhere next year. I don't think he'll be sticking around in the Colts.
We had Little Sponge for a minute, but he's probably feeling heartbroken right now.
Yeah.
The resident Eagles fan. Well, Little Sponge, we don't look at you like we look at the general fan base, buddy. I've never seen you throw a battery at anybody.
No.
So. But, all right. I'm going to watch this game. Finished my workout. My muscles were screaming. I needed a little bit for them to chill out.
Yeah.
And I've actually been kind of stretching them as I'm sitting here.
All right. But, thank you for having me.
Thanks for pulling up, Boss Quest. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm just a little guy. I only got 112. And when it comes down to it, it's always go Niners, right?
That's right.
Our friend Corey Davis would say, F all 31 other teams.
Yep.